Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video. But before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing quite an interesting video, I think at least, and that is my predictions for the 2022 redistricting process, the maps that will take effect for the 2022 election. And it is going to be quite an interesting process. And as you can see, I have made a map here of all 50 states, and you can see a bunch of different districts. And this is my prediction for what each state will do in the redistricting process. Now, this goes on a state-by-state basis. In one state, you have the Republicans draw on the districts. In another state, you have the Democrats draw on the districts. And that's going to have a big impact on the way these districts are drawn due to a process called gerrymandering. And gerrymandering is where you draw the districts in a certain way to favor a political party. And you'll see many examples of gerrymandering when I go through each one of these predictions. And I wanted to talk about this because I've seen a lot of videos of people doing their 2022 House predictions, but it's really useless because all of the districts are going to change. All states with more than one district, obviously, Wyoming's only got one district. This cycle, they're going to have one next cycle, going to be the same district. But for states with more than one district, they're going to have new districts. And even if they change slightly, it will have a big impact in many states on the overall makeup of Congress. And this was one of the things that people talked about after the 2020 elections was the Democrats had quite a disappointing performance in the state legislatures. And that's really, for the most part, where this redistricting process does come down to. Some states have delegated their power of redistricting to independent commissions. Some people have political commissions appointed by the state legislature. But it really varies by state. But overall, most states have the power going down to the state legislatures. But I'm just going to be doing a state by state. I'm only going to be talking about the important ones because, I don't want to talk about all 50 states. I'd be here all day. If you want me to talk about a specific state, comment down below. I'll reply with what I think will happen. But, we can start off with the Northeast here. Maine, this is quite an important state because of the way they split up their congressional districts. And both seats are represented by Democrats, but of course, Maine's 1st District and Maine's 2nd District each allocate an electoral vote. And Maine's 2nd District really lost population over the last decade, so it's going to have a different reapportionment. But I think that the Maine's 2nd District actually might get redder due to the fact of where the incumbents live. You're going to have to put Jared Golden, who lives around the Lewiston area, in this overall district, meaning that the blue district, which is going to have to follow county lines for the most part, I think, to get the support of enough Democrats, is going to be blue or take up a lot of the blue areas. Would have trended blue even in the 2020 election, and Maine's 2nd District will remain quite a red district. Now, here's where we get to one of the first gerrymanders, and that is the state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire is actually the only legislature that actually flipped, aside from Alaska, but that's another story. They went from, having independent to Republican, but this is a Democrat to Republican flip in both the state House and the state Senate. So now Republicans will have the ability to control the redistricting process. And I think that they're going to do something like this. They'll put Manchester, Concord, Lebanon, which is where the university town is, Claremont, and even Portsmouth and Dover, all in that one Democratic district. You're going to pack Democrats in that district. And then Republicans are going to be in these much more rural areas, which trended to blue in 2020, but overall are trending towards the Republicans. You saw that in 2016. You're going to see that in the Senate races. You saw that at the state level as well. Most of these areas are represented by Republicans, and if they draw the districts this way, they already said they're going to draw the district in a way that gives the Republicans a seat, and I think that they would do it this way, and that would give Republicans one seat. Of course, Vermont, one district. Massachusetts, they're all going to be Dem. Rhode Island's only going to have one district. That's going to be a Democratic district. Connecticut is another interesting process because, like Maine, you actually have to have 2/3 support in the legislature to get a map passed, and while Democrats are close, they're not at 2/3 in both chambers. So if the legislature cannot agree, it goes to a commission. The commission sorts something out. I think Republicans may agree to this map. Otherwise, it'll go to commission. They follow a map similar to this because this does follow most county lines and it keeps all the incumbents in their districts. I do think that the Democratic incumbent of this district could still win because Biden would have won this district, but it does certainly become a lot redder. Now we get to one of the big states, which is the state of New York. Now, right off the bat, Republicans are going to lose New York's 2nd congressional district. Now, there's been a lot of disputes over who's actually going to control the redistricting process in New York. Will it be the commission or will will the legislature come in and say, we're just going to amend everything the commission's done and we're going to make our own map? I think the latter is more likely, but I don't think they're going to be as ruthless as they could be. And that starts off with New York's 2nd congressional district. You're going to take a lot of blue areas. Islip is a very Democratic area, a minority area. Same thing with Brookhaven. And then the Republican area, the Republican district of New York's 1st congressional district is going to take a lot of these whiter areas, which are more Republican. And overall, that's going to turn New York's 2nd congressional district into a bluer district. New York's 3rd district becomes a little bit closer, but would have trended blue in the 2020 election. It wouldn't really matter. New York 11th district is going to be a gain for the Democratic Party. Currently, it's a Republican district that goes into some Republican areas of Brooklyn. Now it's going to go into the white areas of, the Bay Ridge area, the Sunset Park area, the Gowanus and Park Slope area. I'm from New York, so I know a lot of this stuff. But overall, New York 11th district going to become a blue district. This also follows all of the VRA requirements, which makes it so, you have to preserve majority-minority districts. And then upstate, they're going to shore up some of the districts for the Democratic Party, as well as making New York's 22nd congressional district a blue district. Then they're going to combine Elise Stefanik and Claudia Tenney into this one overall Republican district. And it's, this looks bluer than it actually is, because in New York, they only have the numbers for an election that includes Barack Obama, who did very well in upstate New York, but they will preserve 3 upstate Republican districts, including 1 downstate, giving Republicans 4 districts, but that's going to be one of the few areas where Democrats will actually gain. New Jersey, I think Republicans will gain a district in New Jersey, but Democrats will get some gains as well. Both the 11th district and the 5th district are bluer than the current map. The 3rd district is also much bluer as well, being this district, but the Republicans are going to have the 7th district be a lot redder, and I think that is because you have Tom Malinowski, who currently represents this district, that he only won by 1.4 percentage points when Biden won the district by 10 percentage points, because he was going up against Tom Keene, who is the minority leader of the New Jersey State Senate. And so what this means is that, Tom Keene is choosing 3 of the members of the commission. I think he might even be on the commission himself. So he's going to have a lot of incentive to make this district redder. And it is the only area in the, northern western New Jersey area that is going to become redder. And it also does preserve all of the VRA districts, which I've done across the board. Pennsylvania, I think they'll do what's called an incumbent protection map. They preserve all of the incumbents. You can see Pennsylvania's 1st district a little bit redder. Pennsylvania's 10th district a lot redder. But then you have Pennsylvania's 8th district bluer, which would help Matthew Cartwright. You have Pennsylvania's 16th district bluer to help Connor Lamb, but overall, not much change in Pennsylvania. Maryland is another map here where Democrats will gain, and I think that they will go for the 8-0 gerrymander. It's going to be quite bad to look at. Of course, I hate gerrymandering across the board. I think that every state should have fair commission maps, similar to what California has, but that's not what they're going to end up doing, and I think we have to come to terms with that. But what they're going to do in Maryland is the 8-0 map. It becomes a lot more difficult to actually make these districts very blue due to the fact that you have to preserve the VRA districts, including the majority black district in Baltimore, Maryland's 7th district, and the majority black district near Washington, D.C., which is Maryland's 4th district. But overall, you have these blue districts. Maryland 1st is going to take a lot of the areas it does currently, but also go into the Annapolis area, which trended very blue. It's a whiter area, trended very blue. Virginia, you've got a commission, which I think is going to make quite a fair map, to be honest. I mean, Virginia, the 2nd district is going to stay similar to the current map. I think Virginia's 7th will become bluer. Virginia's 1st will stay about the same, but Republicans could have a lot of trouble keeping this district. It did trend very blue in this election, but they will have their 3 safe districts in the areas, really the only reliable areas that are trending blue. Virginia's 5th district would become a safe R seat instead of what it does now. It's a very ugly district. North Carolina is going to be another one of those gerrymanders. North Carolina is gaining a congressional district, and I think that they're going to keep all of the Democratic incumbents, but I think that the new district they're going to give to themselves, and that's what it's going to look like in my opinion. South Carolina's map, they're going to shore up South Carolina's 1st congressional district, make it redder so Nancy Mace can win. But the 6th district, I think, they have to preserve that Jim Clyburn's district, majority black. They will also gain 1 district in the Republicans in Georgia, by making Georgia's 7th district a district that takes much more rural areas, goes up into Forsyth County, goes even further north than that, but also takes enough of the Atlanta suburbs. You've got a bunch of districts going to the Atlanta suburbs. You've got the 11th, the 7th, the 10th, the 3rd, the 14th, even Marjorie Taylor Greene's district goes in the Atlanta suburbs. And that's what Republicans are going to have to do to preserve those districts. Nothing really interesting in the Deep South. Got to keep those majority-minority districts, except for Louisiana. I think the Democrats will actually gain a district, another majority black district over here, as well as Florida. Florida, this is kind of this is using 2016 numbers, so this is much bluer. Trump would have won both of these districts. He also would have won 25th district by a safe margin. Overall, in Florida, they have a fair districts amendment, so I think that they're going to keep the districts roughly similar. They could draw out Florida's 13th, they could draw out Florida's 7th, but I don't think they will, to put it at risk of getting it struck down. Going to the next one, which is really the eyesore here, and that is Texas. These maps are not final. I would change around a lot of these things. I think, this part of the Rio Grande Valley is probably illegal in terms of the VRA, because of the fact that the 28th district is 90% Hispanic. That's probably not allowed. But yeah, I think they're going to do, they're gaining 3 districts. I think one of them is going to be a Democratic district, and it is quite difficult to keep all the Republicans in their district, which is why you see a lot of these squiggly lines over here, including in Houston. Dan Crenshaw basically lives in downtown Houston. Putting him in a Republican district is quite difficult, I will say. But I think that they're going to keep the 1 district in San Antonio. They're going to have the 35th district. It's a very ugly district that stretches between Austin and San Antonio. And they're going to have another Austin-based district. Otherwise, it's just they're not going to be able to do it without it. Dallas, I think that they're going to shore up Colin Allred's district, giving the Democrats another district there. They're also going to shore up the rest of the districts for the Republican Party. Oklahoma, nothing really interesting. Same thing in Arkansas. Missouri, I think they're going to get rid of a Democratic district here. You have to follow the VRA by keeping those communities together, but I think that they can do that while also making safe Republican districts. Illinois, another area where Democrats can gerrymander. They're going to gain the 13th district here by having it go from the Springfield area all the way up into a lot of these other small towns which are Democratic, and they're also going to shore up the districts for the Democrats in the suburbs while keeping the VRA districts. Wisconsin, I think they're going to do a similar thing to Pennsylvania, where they have the incumbent protection map. I think they're going to give Wisconsin's 3rd much safer for the Democrats, but overall that's not going to change much. Michigan, I think this could be quite bad for the Democrats overall, because I think that they're going to try and follow overall county borders but also communities of interest, and I think that's making a more Lansing-based district, which Alyssa Slotkin is going to have to run in. Michigan's 5th district, which, the Democrat, it's going to be much closer than the current one. Michigan's 3rd will be closer, but it's still going to be, Peter Mayhew still going to be able to win unless he loses in a primary. And Democrats, they're going to keep these districts, but, you pack a lot of Democrats into those districts when you take up the Detroit area, so it does put Democrats at a disadvantage. Next state is Minnesota, where I think they're going to combine the 6th district and the 7th district by making, the Michelle Fischbach and Tom Emmer in the same district. Going to make the 8th district much bigger, since overall Minnesota is losing a district. Make the 1st district much redder, but overall make the 4 Democratic districts bluer. Nothing interesting out here. Iowa, I think they're going to get rid of Cindy Axne, who barely won this election. I think they'll get rid of her. Kansas, I think they'll get rid of Sharice Davis. All they have to do, people say, oh, they have the Kansas Supreme Court is Democratic controlled. Doesn't really matter. If they're not violating any law, they're not just going to strike the map down. New Mexico, this could be a dummy mander, which means that, you draw the districts to favor one party and ends up favoring the other party, because I think they're going to try and get rid of New Mexico's 2nd district, but it is going to be quite difficult. Colorado's gaining a district. I think it's going to become a Democratic district. Republicans are going to have 3 districts. Democrats are going to have 5, which is pretty proportional. Utah, they have a commission, but the legislature can just change it, so they're going to give Republicans all safe districts. Idaho, nothing really fancy there. Montana's gaining a district. They have a commission to do it, so I think they'll make a decently fair district, but probably out of reach for the Democrats. Washington has an interesting process, which actually emphasizes competitiveness, which is why I think they'll make Washington's 8th closer and Washington's 3rd closer, while also keeping the VRA districts in the Seattle area, which has a high Asian population. Utah, I think Democrats will have to cede a district to the Republicans in order to comply with the guidelines, and also shoring up the districts for the Democrats over here. This could mean that Kurt Schrader probably loses a primary, but overall that is probably, because he's getting a safe district, more Democrats turn out against him in a primary, but overall that's what I think the map will look like. Now California, I think many of these things would change. I think they're definitely not going to get rid of the coastal district that goes along here. I should definitely change that, but overall not really going to change the partisanship of it. Still going to be a Democratic district here, Republican district here. I think they're going to keep a lot of these districts along here. It's very similar to the current one. You can see the 21st district currently here has a similar shape. Kevin McCarthy's district over here, the Republican district over here. In the LA area, I think they're actually going to get rid of Katie Porter's district due to the fact that, they want to preserve all the VRA districts in LA, and really, when you're factoring in that California is losing a district, it's going to have to take in more people. it's going to be a problem keeping all the VRA districts and keeping all the Democratic districts in Orange County. So I think they're just going to push it all down here, which inevitably pushes out Katie Porter, which would go into this likely Republican district, who could probably end up running, maybe running against Young Kim or something. But overall, you're keeping the Hispanic majority seat over here. You're making another Hispanic majority seat over here. And overall, California's going to have quite an interesting map. Arizona, I think they're not going to change it too much. Arizona's gaining a district. They'll keep the majority Hispanic district over here, majority minority. You keep the Native American communities together here. You keep the Hispanic majority community in Phoenix, as well as making three solid areas for the Republicans here, but also making the new district a lean Democrat, tilt to lean Democratic area. And then finally, probably one of the ugliest gerrymanders is the Nevada gerrymander, which is going to have one of the Democratic districts go all the way from Las Vegas up to Reno. These areas don't really have many people, so you can stretch it all the way over here, have that area become a Democratic district, and have it all shored up for the Democratic Party. So I've been talking a lot. I hope I covered everything. Didn't cover Nebraska, keeping that the same for the most part. Tennessee Democrats are going to lose a district there. Kentucky Democrats are going to lose a district. Ohio Democrats are going to lose 2 districts. Indiana Democrats are going to lose a district. I could talk about this all day. These predictions did take quite a while, but I did want to show it on my YouTube channel. Many people have requested, and I thought that it would be quite interesting to show because this does change a lot. But overall, counting it all up, Republicans net 4 districts, which would give Democrats 218 seats, Republicans 217 seats based on the partisanship overall, factoring in incumbents, it's the same thing. But it does put Republicans in a good position to take back the House, which I think they have greater than a 90% chance of doing. But we will end up seeing what happens. I know this has been quite a long video, but I did want to talk about this topic because it is quite important. So thank you for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.